What is up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of the Dense Pixels podcast. I'm your host, Brad, joined by my co-hosts, Micah.
Hey.
Terrence.
What's up?
And Carrie.
What's up?
So, fake E3 was this past week. We're going to talk about the PS5 later.
I just saw Terrence's back.
Terrence's background is pretty on point.
It's really good.
Pretty apropos, as it were. Just real quickly, what we've been playing. I'm on a real card dungeon crawl roguelike kick. Because Slay the Spire came out on iOS, and I already own Slay the Spire, but there's other games that are like it. One of them is Meteor Fall, which is an iPhone game, which is kind of like a real basic version of Slay the Spire. It takes about half the time. It's a little bit easier to grasp. You're only really ever dealing with one card at a time. It's not like you have a whole hand of cards to mess with. And the focus on Meteor Fall is much more about deck construction and kind of keeping a efficient, slim deck as opposed to acquiring a ton of different power cards, things like that. It's pretty good. If you've ever been curious about those games, but Slay the Spire seems daunting, highly recommend checking out Meteor Fall on your iPhone or iPad. It's like $4. There's 7 different characters in the game. You can run through the basic mode pretty easily. I did a hard run with one of the characters that I'd beaten the game with, and it's a little bit much trickier. I didn't get through it the first time, so there's a decent amount of replay value. So definitely check out Meteor Fall. It's pretty good. I also picked up Bastion on the Switch because it's on sale for $3. I had bought that for PS4, I think, but never really played past the first when you first get to the Bastion and move on from there. It's a great game. I've actually put a decent amount of time into this so far. That's the cool thing about Supergiant's catalog is their games don't really age poorly. They're pretty much omnipresent. So if you're looking for a good action game, I would definitely recommend checking out Bastion if you never have. I think it's on sale for $3 on the Switch until the 16th, if I'm not mistaken, which is today. So if you're listening to this right when we put the podcast out, you still get on sale. I think Transistor is also on sale on the Switch for $4. So two pretty good.
I've still yet to play Transistor. Pyre's good.
It's again, that's another one I played through the first third of when it first came out on PS4, and I never did finish it. So I might end up buying it on Switch tonight. And play because that's a good system for it is the Switch.
Yeah,
as it's a good system for every indie game. Carrie, you have been sucked in to buying Persona 4 Golden.
I sure have. Yep.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Before you continue, didn't you say you don't like Persona 4?
Yes, I've said that. Yes.
You just said it yesterday.
So, Persona 4 is my ostensibly my least favorite of the 3, I would say, modern Personas. Modern being within the last 15 years. So Persona 3, 4, and 5. I really enjoyed Persona 3. I blasted through Persona 3 the summer before my junior year of college, and then blasted right into Persona 4. And I think at the time it was I had burned myself out on Persona a lot, and I knew right off the bat that I didn't like the cast in Persona 4 as much as the cast in Persona 3, and I still don't. That being said, the PC gaming show was Saturday, and basically because Sega leaked it, or IGN leaked it, or someone fucking leaked it, it was oh, Atlas is putting Persona 4 Golden out on Steam. That's cool. And I'm yeah, whatever. I would give Persona 4 another shot, particularly because at this point it's been 12 years since I've played it. $20 or $25 if you want the soundtrack with it, which is not a bad idea because the soundtrack is great. Not as good as the soundtrack of Persona 5, but good nonetheless. And yeah, so I've been playing Persona 4 Golden. 12 years ago when I was playing through this game for the first time, I played the initial release. Persona 4 Golden is a Vita Persona 4 Golden on Steam is a up-resed Steam release of a PlayStation Vita game that itself is an enhanced version of a PlayStation 2 game. So, Yeah, that's the right facial expression to have, Terrence.
Telephone.
Yeah. So I mean, look, it's still Persona. I think I'm enjoying it now more than I did then. But this game still got some problems. Especially in the way that it handles like its one like openly gay character, Kanji, who's the best character in the game. I fucking love Kanji. Game starts and you meet Yosuke Hanamura, and he's like your wacky best friend who like crashes his bike and falls into a trash can. Like you meet him and I'm like, huh, I remember disliking this character. Why did I dislike this character so much? And then like you get to Kanji's dungeon and Yosuke is like, here's how homophobic I am. And I'm like, that's why I don't like this character. I remember now. But
Persona 4 was my first Persona. And I didn't know what was going on in that series. And I kind of liked it, but I didn't like it enough to like care about trying to finish it.
Yeah.
But it was a good primer for what to expect when Persona 5 came along. And Persona 5, I think, is one of the best RPGs that I've ever played, just like all around. So
yeah,
is it worth?
It's worth $20
going back to it.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not going back to it because I can't. Like whenever my PC boots up a game, it just dies. I don't know what
I don't think it's going to have a problem running Persona 4 Golden because again, like it looks like a PlayStation 2 game, dude. Like I mean, look, I don't know your PC situation, but I mean, on mine, and I have a really nice gaming PC. Like, it boots up immediately, and like it looks so crisp because now it's running at like 1080p and 60 frames per second. Ultimately, like it still looks kind of chunky because it is still at its core a PlayStation 2 game. It's not like they remastered it; they just sort of up-resed it.
My PC overheats playing KOTOR, so it's not.
How long have you had that PC?
Before when I was with my ex-fiance.
Nigga. Okay. Yeah. Just start running nothing.
Like I said, those listening with as much as Micah buys video games like crazy in every game console, outside of that specific realm of things, Micah is tight with the dollar. That's all I'm gonna say.
So yeah, I mean, in any case, if you haven't played Persona 4, like look, I still don't think it's as good as Persona 3, and it's definitely not as good as Persona 5. My God, the way that dungeon design has improved in the Persona series since Persona 4 is remarkable, because to go back to Persona 4, it's like, wow, I sure am like running down a hallway.
That's the benefit of having 9 years to reflect between games.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, for $20, it's an 85 hour JRPG on your PC. So
there you go.
Which one? I think I played Persona. I think that's the one I actually played. 4. What's the cover look like?
I wouldn't have expected you to have played 3.
Yeah, this is the one I played. PlayStation 2.
So 3 and 4 were both on
fighting game based on.
No, I played
Persona 4 Arena Open X.
It did also come out on PS3, Terrence. So you might have played it.
I didn't have PS3.
Oh, okay, well then you might not.
I know I played.
Did you play Yellow Game or did you play Blue Game?
I think I played Yellow Game.
Okay. Because Persona 3 is blue, Persona 4 is yellow, Persona 5 is red.
Persona 4. I feel like it was 4. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 4.
Right.
Anyways.
So new releases this week. The Last of Us Part 2 comes out on the PS4. Take a second when you get a chance, if anyone out there has not yet, to read the Polygon review of The Last of Us Part 2, because it is a doozy. That confronts a lot of hard truths about that game, quite honestly.
I think it's a very fair review.
And then go listen or go watch Jim Sterling's video from 2 weeks ago where he talks about the fact that he talks about game developers who are made to make games with hyper realistic violence and what they have to do to research that stuff, and they don't necessarily get the proper psychological care that one would expect them to get, having to view certain content for the sake of realism in your video games.
I've seen.
Just
Yeah,
look
that
at
game
the
was
title for the
fucking.
review.
Damn. Golly. Yeah, that game is incredibly violent.
But meanwhile, it has a
Really
98 on
fucking
Metacritic
violent.
because Polygon doesn't give scores. So I'd be curious to know what they would have scored that game had they still done review scores.
And I haven't read this review yet. I haven't played the game. I'm not going to, but like this just goes to show you I could just look at the title of it and that tells me all I need to know about this series and how up its own ass it is.
Micah, here's something that you might be interested in. So someone showed, they posted a screenshot of the Metacritic score for the game, which is a 98, and then they posted a screenshot of the Metacritic score for Schindler's List and said, well, look at that, it's better than Schindler's List. It's the Schindler's List of video games. And Neil Druckmann, I guess he's the president of Naughty Dog. I don't know what his role is in Naughty Dog. He's one of the higher ups. It's like, yeah, I guess it kind of is. That's interesting. I'm just like,
Yo, come on, yo.
That's a little too pretentious.
Come on, man.
For my liking.
Come on, man. Like, this is not like, this game ain't nothing but fucking, this game is every other stealth game. You're just not Sam Fisher this time. You're Samantha Fisher or whatever. You walk around in the shadows and you kill people. Like, come on, man. Like, stop being so fucking pretentious, yo. Just stop it.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, it's fine to take pride in what you're doing. But yeah, don't be that pretentious. Like Micah said, that's a little.
Look, I am
Your
very.
game don't have Liam Neeson in it, guys. Your game don't have Liam Neeson in it. Calm down.
I've been here for the whole, like, I'm very much pro video games as art. Like, I'm here for that argument because I do believe that is something that can be said of a lot of video games. But yeah, could you consider being less of a pretentious douchebag about your fucking zombie killing video game?
Right. Like, yeah, technically Eli Roth is an artist, but I'm not gonna call his movies like good art. Like, it's not like nah, yo, nah.
Oh, sorry. Here's what happened. So just to be accurate. So Jeff Kanata, I don't know who Jeff Kanata is, but he's verified. Whoever he is.
I'm
He's
aware of Jeff Kanata.
He's an actor. Okay. He compared it to Schindler's List, or he compared the quote storytelling achievements of the game to that of Schindler's List.
Okay, here's what you need to know about Jeff Kanata.
Okay.
Jeff Kanata is a really nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Kanata, in his own words, loves loving things.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense then. Okay.
So he is going to give if he likes something, he's probably going to over exaggerate how much how good it actually is. Now, I have no doubt that this game is a very good stealth game with probably an engaging enough story to want to finish it. But at the same time, if you think, and he's a movie guy, he's a movie
That's the guy from
guy.
the Totally Rad Show.
Yes, that's the guy from Totally Rad Show, and he's from
him and Trachtenberg and one other guy,
and he's on the Slash Filmcast podcast.
Okay,
and
that's
so he's
weird.
He's a movie guy, right? Like, as well.
Maybe
as
the story is that good.
I doubt it.
Well, so what had happened was Jason Schreier said, I think he was subtweeting Jeff Kanata. I don't even think he was tweeting at him directly. Or no, he did. I'm sorry. He quote tweeted him. He said, hyperbole is fun, but if you're thinking about comparing the new zombie video game to a movie about the Holocaust, maybe you might want to tap the brakes a little bit. And
that's all I'm saying.
And the problem is that Neil Druckmann then came in and he tried to make sense of Jeff Kanata's point that The Last of Us 2 was an achievement on the level of Schindler's List. And then Jason Schreier got dogpiled about it. Which, again, everyone just needs to fucking calm down
Yeah, yo.
little bit. And then someone Bob Hackey, who I actually quite like on Twitter, said Jeff Kanata's original point is one of the all-time bad gaming takes, and then he replied with, truly, Ikaruga is the Ellie Weisel's Knight of shoot 'em ups. which then Neil Druckmann had to drop out. I don't know. There's some sniping. People are getting on, Jason Schreier for, going in. I don't know. Like I said, game developers seem to not like Jason Schreier, and with good reason, I guess. He's airing all the
because he
dirty laundry.
exposes how terrible their working culture is, and they don't want to be held accountable.
So, like I said, an interesting.
Jason Schreier is a good journalist. He is a very good investigative journalist.
Who's he with now?
Bloomberg.
Yeah, Bloomberg.
Yep. So, but The Last of Us Part 2 is out, everybody. I don't think anyone in this podcast is going to play it. So, if you're coming here for your,
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, if you're coming here for your T-Lou takes, you're not getting them, I don't think. The Namco Museum Archives Volume 1 and 2 came to PS4, Xbox One, and Switch this week. The Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath Collection comes to PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. I think this is the full enchilada in terms of Mortal Kombat content, basically. Jump Rope Challenge is a free game that came to the Nintendo Switch that you can jump rope with the Wii Joy-Cons. It's a fitness app, Micah.
Yeah.
Don't get too don't give us that look.
This the other day, where it was basically like a couple Switch devs got fucking bored sitting at home all day and decided they were going to try and see if they could make a jump rope game. So they did, and it's free. What's there to be mad about?
Jumping up and down.
Yeah.
And then do it a jump rope, but there's nothing there.
Yes.
No, but you still have to flick the.
Yeah, I understand that, but on the screen, if the rope hits your feet, it don't matter.
Yeah.
You can still jump.
Yeah, you can just. Oh,
look at that. A jump rope. Get a real jump rope.
Look at me jump roping, guys.
Right. That's.
I'll try it out and I'll report back.
And then Torchlight 3 is available in Steam Early Access. I played a little bit of Torchlight 2. That game is very much just fucking Diablo. It's Diablo in the most Diablo way possible. So, if you're hard up waiting for Diablo 4 to come out, then maybe you can check out Torchlight 3.
There's no date for Diablo 4, right?
No, they said not. Their exact words were not anytime soon. Is what Blizzard has said about the release date for Diablo 4.
Go on the internet, guys. There's a lot of things there. It's 80% porn and 20% amateur political scientists arguing with one another. But there's a little corner of the internet, and it's at youtube.com/densepixels. When you go there, you get to see us. We look beautiful. My face looks washed out. Terrence looks like Terrence has a beautiful background image today. Carrie has yellow glasses on as opposed to blue the last time, and Brad looks like he should be duck calling or something. He's got a lot of hair on his teeth. Yeah. But when you go,
those guys have the mega beard. So
when you go to youtube.com/densepixels, hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell for to be aware of all. I don't know what it is yet. I'll have to keep watching people as they say it. While you're on the internet, go to subscribe to all the TMP Studios podcasts wherever you get your podcasts, including the Nerdpocalypse, Black on Black Cinema. We're gonna do spoiler alert. We're gonna do the five Bloods soon. Coming Distractions, the contemporary movie review show, and the weekly preview episode of Look Forward. And if you like that and you want more, go to densepixels.com/premium. You'll see an offer there for $50 a year, or $5 a month, but $50 a year. you get access to the premium slate of shows, including the airing of Grievances, which I'm going to schedule with Jay sometime very soon. No Time to Bleed. Jay picked the next movie he wants to do. It's an Antonio Banderas movie. The Men with the Golden Tongues. Brad and I promise to get one out this month. Upstage Conversation, where Carrie and special guests talk about movie
When are we
music.
going to do our when are we doing our episode?
Whenever you want, Terrence.
I have to watch that shit again. Ain't I?
Yeah. I also have to watch that shit. You think I want to watch that shit?
I don't know. You might like it. When the
I've
last time
seen
you
it
watched
before. I was a child the last time I watched the movie version of that.
I was not a
musical.
child. I was 37 years old. That's how
I watched there's a YouTube channel called The Shows Must Go On, and they've been showing like filmed versions of stage musicals, and they showed like the stage version of that this past weekend. So I got to like enjoy a good version of it. So now I'm going to ruin that by following it up with the garbage film version. But speaking of Upstage, this week the episode that Brad and I did should finally be coming out after Jay has forgotten to put it up for 2 weeks.
Well, no, he intentionally didn't put it up 2 weeks ago because the No Time to Bleed with
Right.
came out, but he should have put it up last week.
He should have, and he did not.
Now he will, because that's how we have to get Jay to do it.
I'm calling him out
Publicly
on
shame.
the podcast because he does listen.
Hey, where's this week's episode of Look Forward?
Hopefully
Yeah,
up to date, if I had to guess.
yeah, because I try to give like a tease of the second hour of Look Forward, but I can't because
We
it's
have
not
no
out.
idea what's on.
Right. It could be anything. I can't even think of anything funny to say. I just need Jay to get off his ass and on his job and get that episode out.
I'm curious to see what their discussion is about the president versus a run-of-the-mill ramp and that epic battle that took place over the weekend.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
In that regard, which nobody would have said anything about had the person involved not made it a point to speak about it. So
Momentum. That's why.
I might have to see about popping on that to talk about that Supreme Court case.
Well, you might be too late. I think they might have already.
I think
that was yesterday.
Yeah, that was yesterday.
Oh, they recorded it yesterday?
Yeah.
Did they record
Motherfuckers.
it before? Oh, wow.
They recorded in the evening last night, so
So yeah, it was,
they should have had that queued up for the docket.
Yeah. So there you go.
folks, 29 states you could be fired for being gay or trans.
Yep.
Not anymore.
But not anymore.
Not anymore.
That's the country we live in. Geez, 29. It's fucking crazy. Anyway. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's
And
a
it
video
wasn't
game.
even a universal, like it wasn't even a
Right, 6-3. Y'all some clowns. Whatever. That's fine.
So yeah, you get the full episode of the Look Forward Political Podcast, and I'm gonna do my Johnny Carson impression. They're gonna talk about the president versus Y equals MX plus B. Bam, who wins? Slope or Trump? It's a little bit of math humor for you.
You said that equation, and I was like, I think I remember what that.
I ain't gonna lie. I was like, what the fuck is this nigga talking about?
Yo, it's been like 13 years since I've had to do math, so.
It has, and I loved it, but it has no practical application.
Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. What is that?
That's fuck off. That's what that is.
Isn't that like the length of the height of an isosceles triangle? I don't know.
I haven't done geometry.
I don't know.
I think you're thinking of a squared plus b squared equals c squared.
That's the Pythagorean theorem. Like we all know what that is.
That's the length of the hypotenuse of it. But no, the other one is the quadratic equation.
That's right. See, again, it's been too long. I really like that.
I don't know what that is or what that means.
Stop teaching kids in school things that have no practical use in their adult lives, unless they're going to be a mathematician or a math teacher. Moving on to the quickest of hits in the news today. EA released a new trailer for Star Wars Squadrons, which is a flight combat game coming out October 2nd. We will learn more about the game later this week. The trailer looked as you would expect a Star Wars X-Wing / TIE fighter.
It looks like the new generation of X-Wing versus TIE fighter, and I'm actually pretty here for that. So
yeah. We'll see. EA at this point deserves not the benefit of the doubt. So
oh no, it'll probably be terrible out of the gate, but I like the idea.
Let's see here.
Is it DICE?
No, I don't believe so. They're too busy working on Battlefield 6. So
Motive Studios.
there you go. Oh, that's the Jade Raymond. Formerly Jade Raymond studio before she went to go work for Google. So. AT&T has put up for sale Warner Brothers Interactive, which is, of course, the game studio known for such titles as the Lego series, Mortal Kombat, Rocksteady Games is in there, so all the Batman games. Scribblenauts, which was the image that CNBC chose to lead with for this story because, Scribblenauts is the most important thing.
Yeah, I like
but yes, anonymous sources say that Take-Two, EA, and Activision have all expressed interest in the studio, and that it might get about $4 billion in offloading that studio onto somebody else. To me, this kind of smells like a Take-Two kind of deal. Take-Two seems ripe to pick off WB's content. I think, at least.
Do they get to use like the characters, like the DC characters in those games? Or is it just
because Warner Brothers owns DC, so
I have to imagine that there would be some sort of pre-existing licensing agreement that would just carry over into whoever bought out these developers at this point. So
okay, all right,
yeah, so pretty cool. The greatest redemption story in video game history continues. No Man's Sky gets a new patch that gives it cross-platform play.
Yeah, and it's been patched like 3 times since this patch because cross-platform play is a little difficult, apparently. Yeah, a bunch of bugs. No, that's cool. Like the PC had people are able to do a lot more with the PC version. So now that they're able, so I guess it's just one world, and they have these glyphs where you can go to particular worlds. If you have the glyph code, and if people have created like a crazy base, you can just go to that base. And people have done some really cool things on the PC as opposed to like the Xbox and the PS4. So you can see these bases in person. So that's dope.
Like, so this is basically just like space Minecraft now, right?
Yep.
Pretty much, yeah.
In many ways, yeah.
Okay. All right.
They have mechs and shit.
There is mechs and shit and rovers and all sorts of stuff. So pretty cool.
Yeah.
A game I've always wanted to get back into, but like I said, it's hard to find the time.
I've tried a couple of times and like I just feel very lost.
Yeah, starting out, it's kind of rough, like because I just reset everything.
Yeah, I feel like that's what I need to do.
And for the first
over
3 or 4 hours, I'm like, yeah, what the fuck I don't even know what I'm doing right now because it was a completely different game. But you get used to it. It's fun.
I feel like I would rather go to the Air and Space Museum. That seems like what you're doing here.
And this last story, this is all Carrie.
Today, they announced that they are making a Kingdom Hearts rhythm game, Melody of Memory, which is the logo for this game leaked like a week ago or something like shit. And ever since then, everyone was like, what is it going to be? It's a rhythm game. And on its face, I don't mind the idea of a Kingdom Hearts rhythm game because I actually quite like the music of Kingdom Hearts because Yoko Shimomura is an incredibly talented composer. I've been to the Kingdom Hearts Orchestra show in New York. It was a wonderful experience. I got to meet Yoko Shimomura afterwards. It's a great time. The music of Kingdom Hearts is very good. And I had sort of figured that this would be like a Final Fantasy Theorhythm style game where it was just like, hey, let's just do a doofy little one-off spin-off game that's just focused on the music of the franchise. But no, they're ham-fisting some bullshit lore into the game, as evidenced by the end of this trailer with Kyrie talking about the melody of memories. And I'm just like, it doesn't have to be this way. Like, you don't have to make this game matter. It doesn't have to matter, but now it has to matter. Now you've got like 3 fucking tablespoons of like deep, important Organization 13 Master of Masters lore content, like jammed into the crevices of this game instead of just letting it be like a fun, wacky rhythm game. And I think that's just fucking stupid. And that is a big problem that I have with the Kingdom Hearts game, is that they can't just write well. Instead, they have to like backfill lore with all of these side games to try and make shit make sense, instead of just, I don't know, writing a decent game to begin with.
I like the first response to this article. It says it is 100% guaranteed that if you don't play this game, when Kingdom Hearts 4 rolls around, you will not understand a single thing in the story. A dozen characters will be unfamiliar, and you'll have to watch a 4-hour explainer just to catch up.
That's it. That's the problem, right? Is that like Kingdom Hearts 3 was getting ready to come out, and all these people who had played Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 and had enjoyed those games, you know, now we're blindsided by all of this lore because they didn't play every single minute of every single, you know, in between and spin-off title. You know, as I said, I sort of had a moment on Twitter today because I'm just like, this news came out and like this lore moment happened. And I'm like, this is the problem with Kingdom Hearts, is that like you have to be like so well informed of every little thing to have even an iota of a chance to understand what is actually going on with the main plot, instead of Nomura just, I don't know, fucking writing a decent game to begin with. No, Nomura doesn't know how to write a plot, and this is exactly the same sort of bullshit that I can already see starting to occur with the Final Fantasy VII remake.
I'm very disappointed by the name. Like, I was expecting, like, I don't know, Kingdom Hearts, you know, Ballad of the Clefs by way of symphonic orchestral music or some shit like that, right? Like, just throw a bunch of random ass musical terms in it. I'm very disappointed at this very tame ass, what is it, Melody of Memory?
Yeah, someone else replied, you know, don't worry about buying this, because right before Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out in a decade, there will be a Kingdom Hearts 3.872 repeating Nightmare Fall over 2 Mega Mom 0.5 release that will get you up to speed. Look, if you like Kingdom Hearts, that's fine. I tried really hard to get into Kingdom Hearts, and I just couldn't because the writing is fucking terrible.
And yet you still played all 3 games.
I didn't play Kingdom Hearts 3. I played.
Play it.
No, I never bought it because, like, I realized, you know, my plan was I'm going to play through the story so far, and then I will eventually buy 3 once the price of 3 drops. And then, like, the price of 3 got down to like $10, and I was still just like, I don't know. Yeah, I played through 1, 2. I got through like 2/3 of Birth by Sleep, and I had like basically watched like the compilation cutscene explainers of the games like in between then, and I was just like so put off by how fucking horrid the writing is that I just like, I couldn't bring myself to give a shit about what could possibly happen in Kingdom Hearts 3. It's weird because like the characters are well done, like I really like the characters of Kingdom Hearts, but like the plot itself is just so fucking badly done that by the time I got to the, you know, 2/3 of the way through Birth by Sleep, I was just like, I don't fucking care anymore.
Yep. Because you're normal.
I mean, it might have to do with the fact that I have a master's degree in professional writing that really makes the writing of these games stand out as particularly poor. But
No, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with
you. Like the gameplay is fun, and I like the characters, and I like Disney, so there's a lot of stuff about Kingdom Hearts that's like there for me personally to enjoy. I'm gonna just stick to listening to the soundtracks from here on out, I think.
There you go.
So that's the news.
Next up, Amazon. The Amazon mention. Go to www.densepixels.com/Amazon. I forgot it was me. Go to www.densepixels.com/Amazon. When you go to www.densepixels.com/Amazon and make all your Amazon purchases, you pay nothing extra. You give us a little bit of a finder's fee. And it is the easiest way to help the show. I'm at www.densepixels.com/densepixels. Oh, no. God damn it. I'm at www.densepixels.com/Amazon. And what happens when I type in dense pixels? How about that?
This is what happens when Mike is forced to go off prompter.
Yeah. I'm at, I typed in dense pixels, and the second thing that came up is the Pixels 4K UHD movie on Prime Video to rent for $4 or to buy for $14. Don't do either. Yeah, I don't see anything else here, but Amazon has plenty of things. You can help do Jeff Bezos a favor and contribute to him being the first trillionaire on the planet. And go to www.densepixels.com/Amazon.
And you can make us all 100 heirs at the same time. What a great
100 heirs.
Oh my goodness. So like I said, last week would have been E3 had E3 not been canceled thanks to the coronavirus. But fortunately, Sony coming through in the clutch with the much anticipated PS5 reveal event. Lots of hype and speculation for this one. First of all, how do you guys think the reveal went? Because like I said, this is the first time that I can remember a major console being unveiled at a digital event. That didn't, because Microsoft first at least showed off the Series X or teased it on stage last year at E3. So how do you think the presentation went as a whole?
It's about what I expected.
It was fun.
I appreciated it because they still had the talking heads, and they still had the people coming out and being like, yo, this is the best thing in the world, right? Look at all the amazing things that we're going to be able to do with the power of the PS5 branding. And but they weren't out there for a long period of time. It wasn't just dudes in sport jackets and crew neck shirts just talking at you, right? Like, you could tell these people are very passionate about what they do, and it was nice to see some diversity in the developers. I think it was better than the state of plays, but I appreciated it. And it was only like
an hour 15.
It was an hour.
Yeah, it was an hour.
It was like an hour on the dot. Now, it probably would have been 50 minutes if they cut out all of those dumb bumpers with the 4 different button logos that kept popping up.
Yeah, and I don't need the teases of what the thing is going to look like, while the presentation is going on.
Right, just fucking show me. Right?
Just show me what it is at the beginning or at the end, right? Like,
yeah. So here's something that I didn't really think about too much when it happened a couple weeks ago. Like one of the smartest things that they could have ever done before this event was when they did come out with the establishment and kind of like the rebranding of SIE into PlayStation Studios, because how many times did you see that fucking logo pop up before they showed a game presentation? And you don't have to know anything to know that when you see that logo, that game's a PlayStation exclusive. Like, that game's not going to be on Xbox. Whereas with Xbox, you have to like go in after the fact and figure out, all right, which is exclusive, what's just a timed exclusive, what's going to be a multi-release game. PlayStation showed like I think 17 games during this presentation that were going to be PS5 or PlayStation exclusives. I don't know if they're necessarily PS5 exclusives. But I think that was a big deal and something that sometimes Microsoft forgets about. Like in this day and age, especially, we talk about it all the time. The first party or exclusive game library is going to be what compels folks to one system or the other if they have to choose. And on PlayStation, that choice is a lot more clear as far as what games are going to be available only on PlayStation than it is with Xbox. So I think that Microsoft could do a better job of highlighting those things in the future for sure. All right, so we got to talk about this box that that's going to be out there. Highly polarizing opinions on the internet.
I don't like it.
I'm cool with it.
It's big.
It's very big.
Boy.
Apparently it is taller than the Series X, and the Series X looks tall when they show that stuff off.
These huge ass consoles. I'm gonna wait for a Slim. Mostly because I know there's not going to be like a fucking big JRPG that's a PlayStation 5 exclusive for probably 3 or 4 years anyway.
Right.
Yeah, they're essentially shoving a fucking PC into this little thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's got to be so big. I mean, I like it. I would just wish it were not white.
Yeah, man, like...
That's the problem.
Why's it gotta be this fucking bullshit two-tone color? I also don't like the fact that, like, it's, like, curved in such a way that like you have to have either like a vertical stand or a horizontal stand to like get it to lay flat.
It's got to come with it.
I think it does come with the stand, and I think that the stand is modular. I think you can, from what I understand, you can use it in either configuration.
So
I could be wrong about that, but
I still don't like that it needs a stand to begin with.
I mean, it's either going to be like
why can't you just make one side of it flat? It's fucking PC parts. They don't have to be ergonomically flared in such a fashion.
Well, here's the counterpoint that every fucking game console that's existed since like since the PS2 came out has just been a an angular shaped box.
Yeah, but who gives a shit what the box itself looks like?
I
as long as it runs well. I care more about what the controller looks like. I still don't like the PlayStation 5 controller because it is white and because I have sweaty little palms that will discolor the shit out of that thing.
And look, they're being smart. You don't release the black version up front. No, you get people to buy it on launch day, and then you bust that shit out in 2 years. And they buy it
bone them.
Yeah,
you bone them with the BBC of consoles. Get out of here, man.
This is marketing 101, man. You force them to take the one that's so, and then you come out with the slick looking one later on.
The two-tone screams like multiple SKU PlayStation 5s, right? Like we're gonna have special editions where you're gonna have the black one, you're gonna have the Call of Duty camo, pop collar console, you're gonna have the red Spider-Man pop collared console, you're gonna have all these different colors of this thing.
It looks very Y2K, honestly.
I don't like the disc version because it's asymmetrical.
Yeah. It looks really fucking weird,
It really bothers me.
Or it could be that they made the disc version ugly on purpose, that more people would be compelled to go to the digital edition, which was a bit of a surprise, by the way, that for me at least, that they're coming out with a discless version.
Hardware lacking a disk drive, yes.
Yeah.
But Microsoft had to say it, right?
They did, but that also came out, 5 years or 6 years or 5 years into the Xbox One console cycle. Came in after the fact. I honestly wasn't expecting them to do it at launch.
So which one are you getting?
That's a great question, Terrence. I haven't decided yet. It's going to depend on price. It's going to depend on price.
Yeah.
I mean, the digital version has to be cheaper, right?
one
would have
assumes,
to
but how
imagine.
much cheaper? Because some crazos on the internet are like, oh, it's going to be $600 for the disc one and $400 for the digital. I'm like, I cannot
So
see.
wild.
I cannot see such a wide. I cannot
a
see such a
$200
wide
difference
price
between a
for
Blu-ray drive and not a Blu-ray drive.
No, I think it's going to be like $100 difference.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Right,
like a $50 to $100 difference.
Like and so like if it's $5 for the disc and then $4 for the digital.
No, 6 and 5.
You think
I think
so?
it's going to be 6 and 5.
6 and 5.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's
600 is super steep, but like for what it is.
Yeah, but here's the thing. What if Microsoft follows suit? Like they haven't announced a digital version of the Series X, but there's rumors that there's going to be one.
Wait, you have to put a disc in that thing?
In
the Series X,
no, you don't have to, but
it's an obelisk, dude. Like,
I'm not saying you have to put a disc in it, but it does have a disc drive.
It does?
I don't even know where it's at.
Yeah, it's camouflaged in there. Like it's by the bottom if it's standing upright. But yeah, it's there. But yeah, but I feel like that Microsoft is going to do whatever they can to have the cheapest.
Oh, there it is right
box.
there. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that they're going to do whatever they can to have the cheapest box on the market, one way or the other. So whether that's like an underpowered version of the new console that's digital only and maybe might be missing some of the hardware upgrades, they're going to have the cheapest box. And I feel like that you can't have your box be, even at its lowest price point, miles above that. I don't think that that's a winning strategy. And I really think Microsoft's going to get one out at maybe 400. I think seems like the right price point, maybe even 350 if they're really feeling foggy about it.
You are out of your mind if
We'll
you
see.
think the next thing is going to be 350.
I'm not saying the Series X is going to be 350. I'm saying whatever the cheap version is going to be
of it.
350. Yeah.
So what would be the cheap version of the Series X?
Like I said,
Version?
digital only. Maybe not. Maybe it doesn't have as many teraflops. It's inside of it as the Series X.
But then it's not the Series X then.
But it could still play the same games. Like you could still come out with a console that's more powerful than maybe it doesn't have like a solid state hard drive, for example. It has a traditional disk based hard drive. Like I said, there's ways they can cut costs to come out. But I really do think that Microsoft is going to want to have the cheapest console on the market come this console generation, because I think they're going to be able to sell more. So
this thing's lying on its side. The Xbox Series X lying on its side looks fucking weird.
Yeah. Well, because it's
just a box,
right? It's a pedestal. It's not a rectangle. It's more of a cubic square sort of.
It's what those monkeys were worshiping in 2001.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a monolith, and yet again smaller than the PS5 is going to be, believe it or not. But yeah, I didn't know what to expect from the box. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was expecting. Like, I was like, I saw it. I'm like, that looks cool. I like the way it looks.
Yeah.
And then the memes came out. I was like, those are really fucking funny. That fucking cell one is hilarious.
Underrated feature, the blue light around the fan vents. That's another one that special editions can probably play with and have a few different configurations. To mess with there. So
it probably changes color.
Maybe that's actually, you know what? You're probably right, Terrence. That's probably like the power indicator in terms of how that's going to go.
Like the regular one. It'll be orange when it's in standby mode or whatever.
So we're not going to go blow by blow through all the games. I told these guys to think of the top 3 games they wanted to talk about during the event, and that means we might talk about 3 games if they all happen to match up, or we might talk about 12 games if all 3 of us have 3 unique games. Highly unlikely that that's going to be the case. I'm going to get it started. This might only be on my list, and I don't even care. That Ratchet & Clank game looks so fucking good. We've talked all the time about, like, will you really be able to see the difference between PS4 and PS5? And that Ratchet & Clank game is the first game that I've seen that really, like, you can fucking see it, like, in the way that the lighting effects are done and stuff like that. That thing looks incredible, and I cannot wait to play it in like 2 years.
There is a lot going on in that game, man. Like it is, it is like an ADD nightmare if you just get distracted by pretty colors. Because there's a lot going on.
A lot going on that screen.
but it does look cool. I'm glad that they're still like, sticking in there with Ratchet and Clank. Like it does look good. I like I would play it. I don't know if I would play it. Well, yeah, like you said, it's not going to be a launch title. It's going to be,
Sure about that?
Pretty sure.
I
think they even said
it's
about 2021. I'm pretty sure that's what they dated it. So,
yeah, Spider-Man. What? Fucking,
of course.
Fucking Spider-Man. Yeah, Spider-Man. Now the thing with Spider-Man is there was a big kerfluffle on the internet because people are like, well, is it a full game or is it DLC or what is it? It's a Spider-Man game, guys. Like, it's a Spider-Man game starring Miles Morales. It's not Spider-Man 2. Otherwise, they would have called it Spider-Man 2. So don't expect. And look, I don't know anything either, right? But this is what I'm guessing from context clues, right? It's not called Spider-Man 2. You're probably not playing Peter Parker. It's probably not going to pick up at the end of Spider-Man. Spoiler alert! At the end of Spider-Man, there are allusions that Harry Osborn will be Venom, and a Venom will make an appearance in the sequel. That's not this.
No.
This is this
because
looks
the
like
end of the first Spider-Man game also has Miles showing his powers for the very first time to Peter.
Right. And this looks like it's reusing the same assets from the same map from Spider-Man PS4, right? So Manhattan. It would be amazing if you could go to like Brooklyn, where Miles is from. I don't know if that is something that I want that to happen. I don't know if it will. I think this game is going to be not necessarily a budget title.
Well, so we'll turn to Rashawn, who says, with Spider-Man Miles Morales as a launch title, do you think it's a full $60 game or $40 game? He thinks it's going to be a $60 game that'll only be available on PlayStation 5 because they wouldn't have announced it during the showcase and it not being a full game. So I could be wrong. I think Sony confirmed, or Insomniac confirmed, it is a $40 game. It's I don't know why people are scratching their heads about this. This is going to be the Uncharted Lost Legacy version of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to be.
It's going to be a $40 game, and chances are it's going to be on PlayStation 4 as well.
Correct. I agree. So,
like, I think they would be foolish if they only released this as if they put it on as a PS5 exclusive.
When I first saw it, my first thought was, oh, so this is an expansion.
Yeah, that was
somebody mad.
he big mad.
Yeah, I was like, this is an expansion, and that's fine.
Well, but it's more than an expansion because
I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. It's an expansion, but it's like a full game, but it's not a full game.
You know, you can have like a fun 15-hour game rather than a 30-hour game.
People are getting semantics. They're getting all up in arms over semantics, right? Like, because when you say the word expansion, people think in the video game space, right? Like, well, downloadable content is expansion, right? Like,
well, they're also thinking about it in the context of Spider-Man. Like, they know what size the Spider-Man expansions were.
They're not going to be that fucking, like, come on.
No, it's going to be bigger than that. It's probably going to be bigger than all three of the Spider-Man expansions combined.
Right.
Yeah, those weren't long at all.
No.
Right.
I didn't even fucking bother with them myself.
So yeah, people chill out. It's gonna be it's Spider-Man Lost Legacy, and if you're pissed off because bullshit that they gave Miles the game where it's the short version, it's the expansion version.
It's the Black History Month version.
Right. I would guarantee you that Spider-Man 2, whenever it comes out on PS5 proper, is probably going to be half Peter Parker, half Miles.
Yeah, that was the setup at the end of the first game was, oh, you're going to be able to play as Miles in the next game. I don't think that they were setting that up just for this, interquel, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I fully expect the true Spider-Man 2 will have you switching at least between Peter and Miles, if not between Peter, Miles, and other spider people. So as long as we don't have any more of those bullshit Mary Jane stealth missions, I will be fine with whatever they have to give me.
Miles looks like my cousin. This version of Miles Morales looks like my fucking cousin. It's weird.
What you got, Terrence?
Damn. What was that game called? Returnal.
Oh yeah,
Returnal.
Well.
Yeah, by
stupid ass title.
Yeah, I was like, yo, that title is really dumb.
It's awful.
But it's Housemarque. It's their
first. Yeah, it's Housemarque.
Like,
when I was like, oh shit, Housemarque.
Their big
third person,
right?
Behind the back shooter. Okay.
Looks like a roguelike game in some.
Yeah. And the Spider-Man. That was two of mine. And there's another one that'll probably be unexpected, but I can't remember the name of it. But you guys can go while I look for it.
No, Returnal looks cool. It basically kind of reminded me a lot of like Edge of Tomorrow, in terms of the plot line and setup.
It's extremely Edge of Tomorrow.
Yes, but like I said, Housemarque made some of my favorite games across the last two PlayStation consoles, and this is their first big game coming out. That's not, again, they're getting away from an arcade style game. So I'm very curious to see what they're able to bring to the table.
Yeah, this was the one where I think I had the thought of, oh, this is what the PlayStation 5 can do in terms of graphics. Because I was like, this looks like a live action movie. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna play it, but looks neat.
I saw Housemarque and I'm like, I'm already in. What the fuck does it look like? And then when they showed it, I'm like, okay, yeah, you got me.
Yeah, them and Super are two of the like, I don't care what it is, like I'm already in. Like, just give it to me. Here's my money. Let's do this. Carrie.
I was going to talk about Spider-Man, but instead I will talk about I guess Kana Bridge of Spirits, which looks very Breath of the Wild inspired. But yeah, I mean, it looks cool. They're like, oh, it's a story about adventure and personal growth, and you got to save all these spirits and do all this stuff. And I'm like, this sure looks like Link traveling throughout Hyrule and rescuing Koroks, but you know what? I'm here for it. So her staff can like turn into a bow, and it can turn into a sword, and again, it looks like Zelda, but PlayStation 5. So, cool, I'm in for like a fun Zelda style action adventure game on the PlayStation. So
very cool. So we get back to Micah.
Returnal was one of the ones that I was going to talk about, but because it looks amazing. Deathloop, I'm very interested.
I knew you were going to play it. I knew it.
But like, I could only pick 3, and that was going to be another one. But
yeah, Deathloop looks really fucking cool, man. Like, just from the style and aesthetics alone, it looks cool. It's done by Arcane. Now, I am not a
only concern. It's done by Arcane, and it looks like it was done by Arcane based on the game.
Yeah, that's it, man. And I wasn't a huge fan of Dishonored. I understand, everybody likes Dishonored. It just wasn't my. A lot of what I didn't like about Dishonored was the setting. Like, I just didn't care. Like, and then I started playing it, and it's Arcane, right? So I'm willing to give them one more shot with this game.
I thought this looked super cool. I like the idea of like 2 assassins trying to kill each other so they can break this time loop that they're both in.
Yeah.
Plus, this looks like it has far more of like a sense of humor about it than the Dishonored games, which take themselves pretty seriously. Yeah.
So, I'm looking forward to it. Please don't be bad.
Terrence.
Little Devil Inside. No one remembers that game.
No, I don't remember it at all.
It was the game where they had like they had the weird character designs. He was in the forest, in a desert. They kind of like cute. The characters look kind of like cubes a little bit.
Oh no! Yes, I know what you're referring to.
Yeah,
now.
this game, when I was watching it, I'm like, I don't know what's going on in it, but it looks cool. And I want to play it. That's it. Like it looks really. It has a very different art style.
Yes,
it looks like it has several different art styles actually.
The one thing that I noted about Little Devil Inside is that like the old man that I think like the main character sort of serves, I guess, has the same proportions as the Washington Nationals racing presidents.
The
what?
I googled Little Devil Inside, and the top 3 stories from Eurogamer: Little Devil Inside developer apologizes with an S for some reason for racist stereotypes in its reveal trailer.
Oh, great.
Second story: Little Devil Inside dev apologizes for racist stereotypes shown in their trailer. And Little Devil Inside is being tweaked to remove the racist stereotypes in their game. There's one
stereotype.
So there's a picture of a dark-skinned character with dreadlocks who is wearing a mask with a big red with a smile and big red lips, and he's got a pipe in his hand used for blowing darts.
Could be a racing type, could be a Trading Places homage. No one can really
Damn. People are really sensitive. Like, come on, yo. Like, I watched the trailer. That shouldn't even
I didn't even notice, right?
I didn't even notice it.
God I didn't even notice it. But that's the way we're living right now, man.
Yeah, good Lord. Like, sorry. It's like
Meanwhile, Resident Evil 5 exists, but all right, motherfuckers wearing grass skirts, chucking spears at you. But all right, let's get
Little Devil Inside. Like, come on,
like a Resident Evil 5 was from a bygone era.
Yeah, 10 years ago.
Where that sort of nonsense was permitted, apparently.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I think it actually comes out on PS4 as well.
Yeah, that's the curious question with a lot of these is how many of these are going to also release. Like I think there might have been a handful of games that they showed off that are only going to be on PS5. Like I think Ratchet and Clank probably will only be on PS5.
Yeah, I think the only PS5 could handle the shit that thing is doing.
Right,
like, you're just going through rifts and loading up completely different sections instantly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, PS4 ain't doing that.
No,
like no.
What if they?
I think that was the showcase.
Like the gameplay froze for 5 seconds.
Right. That's exactly what it would do on a PS4. Even a Pro, like that thing is. Look, that was a showcase to show how fast the hard drive is on that thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that was, and it was dope. Like, but I'm not a huge Ratchet and Clank person, so.
Carrie, what was your third game?
There's not honestly much that I thought I was going to really play out of this. But I guess I'll bring up Resident Evil 8 just for the sake of bringing up Resident Evil 8. Because
I had no clue this was a Resident Evil game until
I had a sneaking suspicion about halfway through the trailer. I was like, I think this is going to be the next Resident Evil. Then it said Village, and I was like, huh. And then it like flashed the 8, and I was like, ah! I figured it out. This seems like a natural extension of what they did with Resident Evil 7. Looks scary as shit. I'm never going to play it because I'm a fucking pussy. I don't do horror games. We all know this. That game looked great too, just in terms of how the characters are being rendered. Apparently it's going to be a direct sequel to Resident Evil 7. It will once again star Ethan Winters, who just seems to be having one bad day after another. So
it's some terrible fucking luck. Yeah, and Chris is back.
Yeah,
big boulder punching Chris.
Mm-hmm.
And his goddamn pea coat.
So
very cool.
Yeah, Chris's neck has just gotten thicker and thicker since this series started, man.
Yep.
My last one might be a bit of a surprise, actually.
Bug snacks?
No, it's not.
Yo, I just wanted that trailer to be the fuck over. I'm like, yo, this is just stupid.
That game actually might be pretty good because apparently Octodad was
a lot of fun.
Yeah, so don't write off Bug Snacks.
Bug Snacks is going to be extremely stupid and probably play very fun.
Yeah,
I'll take your word for it.
So I was a really big Gran Turismo fan on the PS1 for GT1 and 2, and none of the subsequent games in the series really clicked with me. And Sport, which came out on PS4, was not a Gran Turismo game in the full extent of Gran Turismo. And what little they showed off of Gran Turismo 7 looks kind of like a return to form in the series, just kind of the things they showed and how you progress through the game and stuff like that. It looks really cool. It's probably not going to come out for like 4 years because of Polyphony and they take forever to release their fucking games. But it's going to be polished when it does. And that game's going to probably be pretty cool. I was going to put Horizon in here, but that felt too easy to say Horizon. What is it? What is the subtitle for Horizon? I can't remember.
Forbidden West.
Forbidden West. That's right. Is the new Horizon game that's coming out.
I was disappointed in the trailer for Ghostwire Tokyo.
Well,
I kind of was too.
I was like, what the fuck is this?
It's not what a lot of folks were expecting.
Yeah, it isn't at all. At all. I didn't know what to expect, but that's not what I expected.
Meanwhile, Blue Point is taking fucking Demon Souls and making the best game in the Soul series, apparently. The best looking one from that trailer.
They did,
that looked great.
Shadow of the Colossus, right?
They do a lot of remakes. They did do the Shadow of the Colossus one specifically, though. Yes. So Square had a few things that they kind of teased out, but we don't know anything about those games yet. And yeah, so like there's a lot. I also be remiss if I didn't mention, like I understand that the coronavirus is a thing that's happening right now, but in your NBA 2K21 trailer, you don't have to make Zion Williamson looks like he has the coronavirus. That dude was sweating profusely in that trailer, just because. And I'm assuming they probably like cranked it up because they wanted to show off the sweat physics that they have.
Right.
Sweat tech.
But good lord, that like Zion Williamson just looked perpetually drenched during that entire fucking trailer.
Like it was comical, right? Like it was like that. It was like that Jordan Peele meme, right?
Yeah,
come on, yo, come on.
I don't watch a lot of basketball, but I have seen enough basketball over the years to know that they usually don't get that sweaty while playing basketball.
They do.
Even if they do, right? They do. They just
How
wipe
off?
themselves off because you don't want sweat in your eyes when you're fucking driving to the hole or whatever fucking basketball terminology to use.
And you don't want to slip either.
Right. That's why they have those big like squeegees that they get all over the floor.
That's one of the reasons
absolutely bust your ass on a fucking hardwood floor if it's fucking water on it.
That's one of the reasons LeBron James wears a headband, to catch the sweat. The other reason is to hide the Micah-esque hairline that he has.
I thought he got hair plugs or something.
I think he got like
I don't know what he does.
Propecia or some shit, but I remember seeing him, and then I remember seeing him in Trainwreck, and I'm like, that's some good CG.
All right, so we'll go to the post office. We asked you guys your thoughts on the PS5, and I had put something in about the Guerrilla Collective, but I'm the only one that watched it. So if you want to see a cool indie game showcase, go check it out.
I saw a couple games. There was one game that I saw that I instantly wanted to buy.
Was it West of Dead?
No, it was First Step to Eden or something like that.
Oh, that's out now, actually.
Yeah, it is out.
Yeah, I thought about
like
that.
$30. I was like,
it is a First Step to Eden looks cool. If you are a fan of like the Mega Man Battle Network series,
I've never played that.
Check out. So, it's like a grid-based, real-time deck building combat game. It looks cool. I'm thinking about getting it myself. So,
One Step from Eden. That's what it's called.
Yeah, that's right.
It's on the Switch, and I don't have a Switch.
No, West of Dead look cool. That's like a top-down action game that Ron Perlman's in, and Ron Perlman was in the news the past couple days for hilarious reasons. So that looked pretty dope. And I really want to play Disco Elysium, which has been out on PC, but it's apparently coming to consoles at some point.
Okay.
So It won tons of Game of the Year awards. So I'm very excited to check that one.
Oh, this looks. Is it only on Switch? This West of Dead?
No, I think it's coming out. I know it's coming out on PC. I think it might be coming out for other consoles as well. But it's at least coming out for PC in addition to Switch. So
I like this art style a lot.
Yeah.
This looks cool.
Malcolm says, what will be the first fighting game to debut and why go with white instead of black? Well, they went with both. I mean, the black is prominently featured on the front of the console when you're looking at it head on.
The black is being oppressed by the overall white around it.
Yeah.
Social
Funny how that works out.
But anyway.
What will be the first fighting game?
And it's being separated by a thin blue line.
Get the fuck out of here.
Damn it. Fucking Sony.
I think the first fighting game is going to be Street Fighter 6.
No.
They just announced one more season of Street Fighter 5 characters. It would be foolish of them to be like, oh yeah. Well, I guess depending on when that game comes out, but I doubt it.
PS5 is Japanese.
Yeah, it's gonna be some obscure Japanese.
I feel like it's gonna be like an Arc Sys.
It's gonna be fucking like Melty Blood or some shit.
Shit, they might put two versions of the hell is that Guilty Gear game? When is that coming out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
because that game is really fucking good on PS4.
I think the first.
You're gonna get some Guilty Gear, some Blaze Blue. You're gonna get a Persona 5 fighting game, fucking Persona 5 Arena Ultimax.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the first mainstream fighting game that'll come out will be probably Injustice 3, if I had to guess.
Didn't think of that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You're probably right.
Trey says, why is it now viewed by some that spin-off games are bad, even though they are almost a full big 7 years in development, but for less money? What is he referring to exactly?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what he's referring to.
Spider-Man?
Maybe Spider-Man.
Or the Kingdom Hearts game, probably. I don't know. Spin-off games inherently aren't bad, but sometimes spin-off games are bad because they're not given the same development force as the main game that it's behind. So
sometimes spin-off games feel bad because they feel like they're just being mailed in for like a quick buck to like tide people over until the next game comes out. Like spin-offs can be done really well. We've seen spin-offs be done really well. We've seen some done like fucking easy cash grabs. So we'll see.
I don't think Andrew watched the event because he asked.
I was about to say they showed it. That was the first game.
Rockstar will release GTA 5 on the PS5. Yes, they will because it was the very first thing they showed.
They will. Yes. He did reply with, "Did they say this already? Because I've been out of the loop for the last week."
He most definitely did. Which shouldn't surprise anybody at all. Honestly, I'm actually quite shocked that it's not going to be available at launch. Like they said, "Oh, this is coming in 2021." And I'm like, really? You guys couldn't figure this shit out?
While we're talking about GTA 5, I feel like we should add on Randy's question, which is how many years did PlayStation 5 add on to GTA 5? And it is however many years it takes them to release GTA 6 is how many years are being added on to GTA 5 right now.
I don't think PS5 has anything to do with that. I think that's if they keep supporting the game and people keep wanting to come back and play it, that game will last as long as the community wants it to last.
Mm-hmm.
I still can't believe it's still going strong.
I know.
Like, what the fuck? I mean, it's fun, but is it that fun?
No.
I guess.
Right, it's not. It really isn't.
We didn't have it in the news, but Fortnite had 12 million players and 8 million YouTube viewers viewing their season end event simultaneously. So that's another one that's still going strong.
I don't get it.
Like they managed to fill they managed to fill the servers to capacity with 12 million players in Fortnite. They had to literally stop letting people in and stream the event on YouTube in order to accommodate everyone that wanted to be a part of it. Craziness.
That's insane.
I know. Henry, our good buddy, is still on the school psychologist with a kid and student loans plan. He just got a PS4 pretty recently. He says, do you see Sony and other developers releasing PS4 and PS5 versions of games such as Miles Morales? And if so, for how long?
Yes.
Yes, you will still see a lot of PS4.
First year.
PS4, at least, if not longer, honestly, with this generation. And I think that it'll slowly come. I mean, that's every console cycle, but I think that this generation even more so, we'll see a longer bridge between the two. And then Johnny asks, are y'all paying $800 for a PS5? And then says, in all seriousness, what's your top cost that you'd be willing to pay for a PS5?
6. I'm not going above 600. I just won't have one.
I would 6 as well, but for me, like, I already know I'm not buying one at launch. I have no reason to. I'm not worried about when I'm going to get one, because like the game hasn't been announced that will basically require me to own one. So
yeah, I won't have one for a while. But I'm not paying more than $600.
So me and Micah are the ones
Micah?
that right. on launch.
Would you like to share a story with the class, Micah?
I don't know. I have a fan on, so you don't see the Zion coming down my face right now.
It will be very difficult for me to fathom paying more than $600 at launch for it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that's my breaking point, but I agree. Like you don't understand, guys. Like for this generation of consoles, I didn't have the money, so I went to my credit union and I took out $1,000 loan so that I could put the down payment for the Xbox and the PlayStation 4.
Are you serious?
Yes, I am. because I have a problem.
You could have just waited. That's a thing people do.
And now I only play one of them. It's sitting up here, and the other one is downstairs, and we use it as like a media device. So, but I don't want to pay more than $600 for one.
Seven would give me pause. I would still probably do it, but it would give me pause before I pulled the trigger.
Like if I pay that much, like I want a game with it, right? Like I don't mind dropping that much money, but like it's got to be like $600 for the console and then 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like just $700 for the actual console is a lot. But I'm not going to say that I won't do it.
So 700 is your breaking point.
I didn't say that either.
You going 8?
I don't think it would come out.
I don't know. I think that's just ridiculous. At that point, you're buying it like off of eBay, and I refuse to do that. I will not. I don't want one that bad that I'll go on like eBay and get a console that's been upcharged. Like I'm not paying more than MSRP for it.
But based on history as well, like again, $600 is a taboo number in PlayStation lore, so I can't imagine that they would ever go above that price point, regardless of how much the fucking thing costs to.
Right.
So, yeah, it'll be 6 on the top end, I think. Feels right. Amir says, with the PlayStation event showing off a lot of indies, do you think they will try to be the platform to showcase more indies, or was it just to fill time?
It was to fill time.
Yeah, all 3 of those platforms are all going to have some good indie games that are exclusive to it. And I say all 3, I'm including the Switch, because the Switch is the best indie system, if I'm being frank. Just because it just, I don't know, it just, like we said before, it just feels right playing indies on the Switch. But like I said, PlayStation has more studios, or at least more studios than I'm aware of, so you'll probably see a lot more from them just because they're going to advertise their own stuff. We'll finish up with Cam, who says the PS5 and Xbox whatever are both ugly enough that I'm not even sure they get taken home at last call by Stevie Wonder, but the Miles Morales Spidey game is the brown paper bag that makes it okay to go home with the PS5. Would you guys rather we get more big content add-on experiences like this was rumored to be to help cut down on the time in between major AAA titles, or is the existing model of waiting 5 to 7 years for a sequel worth the wait for most things?
Look, if the game's good, it's good. I don't give a fuck.
Here's my thing now. when I was younger, I used to get all pissed because, a game would be delayed. But you can't, it's not like you played the game and then they said, okay, now give it back to us so that we can work on it, and now you can't play it. Like, you can't miss what you don't have, basically. Like, as much as I was bummed that Ghost of Tsushima and Cyberpunk got delayed, I'm not terribly upset because I haven't played them yet. So I've just kind of mellowed out when it comes to stuff like that. But oddly, I want the console the first day. Like, I know it doesn't make sense, but I justify it by like, well, there's other stuff I can play.
Well, I'll do you one better. I would much rather see the industry shift to, like, instead of doing the nickel and dime DLCs that come out, 3 months after the game comes out, that are like $15 a piece, but they only give you like 2 or 3 hours of content. I would rather them forego those and instead do like the Miles Morales size expansions or the Uncharted Lost Legacy size expansions that are robust and actually lengthy and kind of feel like a sequel of sorts, that do kind of bridge the gap between the next game coming out and the one after that. I think that is because then you have time, those take like a year or two to come out. You have time to miss the game a little bit so that you don't feel like you're just playing the same fucking thing for 6 months. And it feels great when you get back into it. I would much rather them start to do that than the current DLC model that most games follow.
Yeah, I just want the game to be good. I don't care how long it takes. Like, time doesn't mean anything to me anymore. It just don't. like Ghost of Tsushima comes out next month?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's gonna be in like a week. Because again, time means nothing. So it'll be out before you know it. Cyberpunk comes out in September?
Yeah.
That's like a month away. I don't know. It'll be here before you know it.
So time is fucking meaningless.
Exactly. It's halfway through we're halfway through 2020.
Yeah.
It just started last week.
March took approximately 100 years.
Yeah.
And then April, May, and June so far have taken all of about 45 seconds. So
it's weird.
Yeah.
It was in July. It's June 16th. It's fucking crazy. But I just don't care anymore. Like, I just want the game to be good. And I'm tired of them putting out half-ass games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of them putting out games that are broken or just not finished.
Yeah, games nowadays should need patches.
Yeah,
Day one patches.
Like, don't put a game out and then have a 4 gig patch. Like, what the fuck? What did you do? Like, why? Why did you release it? So just fix it, finish the game, release it. I'll be fine. Look, got a whole bunch of other games I could be playing, waiting for those. Since I like indie games, and those games, there are a ton of those, and a lot of them are really good, and you get a lot of value for your money. So yeah, just take your fucking time. We don't need these AAA games that have 8 gig patches the first night, because that's annoying. It's very annoying.
That is it for us this week. Make sure you join the fan group denspixels.com/fans on Facebook so that you too can ask us questions in the post office every single week. Subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to the show on YouTube, youtube.com/denspixels. Go ahead and give Terrence and Carrie a follow on Twitch. Terrence is Apparition410. Carrie is Southern Carrie. You can see them stream the things that they like to stream when they decide to do it. That is it for us this week. Thank you guys very much for watching and listening. We will see you all in the next time.
Thanks.
Take it easy.
You're watching the Dense Pixels YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button while you're here and make sure you check out our weekly podcast where we discuss the latest gaming news and our impressions on what games we've been playing.